Wow, we're back on the move again, and the pyramid that I showed you at the start of this video is where I'm heading. Pyramid of the Sun, and being a bigger pyramid than the one in Egypt, you can imagine it's a steep climb. It's a very, very steep climb. We got this, easy, no problem, no problem. Entrance of the Pyramid of the Sun. Hello, hello. How are you? So I've just got to the ticket office here. You could pay €2.50.
What actually did you say?
Pardon?
You said something.
Oh yeah, recorded. yeah, just giving the intro. So, so I've just come to the ticket office. You can pay €2.50 to go up on your own, or €5 for a guide. I mean, at that type of prices, me personally, I would go with a guide. The last lady I had, as you've seen in this video, was very knowledgeable. And what I liked about it wasn't a mainstream narrative, as you would expect here, to be honest, because they don't even acknowledge that this is a pyramid. That is the mainstream narrative of this place. So looking forward to going up here, and we shall see what we find.
As you can see, there's a triangle between, or it can be,
yeah,
measured from the Sun Pyramid, the Moon,
yeah,
and Dragon. It's 2,170 meters. Sorry.
Precisely between each
that's
point.
An equilateral triangle.
That is
It
incredible.
means this is an element of sacred geometry.
Exactly, yes.
And in this case, all of these positions, as well as the other pyramids, relate to the artificial monument even before the ages of time, where we started recording our own history.
Right, yeah.
We'll have to stop. I think I have another.
Yeah, no worries. You do your thing.
The structure is purposely, as long as you see these tables.
Yeah. That was incredible information there, and I just want to show you this because this is obviously a direct comparison to the pyramid in Egypt, and this is exposed. Obviously, it isn't covered in vegetation, so it's very, very easy to say it's a pyramid. But I mean, look at this. Look at this. How they're able to get away without acknowledging this. It's not surprising because, as many of you should know who follow my channel, they get away with many things, and they do it on a consistent basis. So this is just another example of such a thing. You can clearly see how the structures are there. They've been buried, and I would suspect it is on purpose. It's been covered up for a reason. So check that explanation there at the bottom. Energy machine used for the long distance two-way communication, self-healing and rejuvenation, water and food molecule structure improvement, development of spiritual abilities to diminish natural catastrophes and protect original planetary frequency, the Schumann resonance. The guide who's just taken that group up there, we just stopped and had a short conversation, and it's really empowering and positive to realize that there are many people that feel this electromagnetism, free energy, sound frequency, and are not afraid to say it as it is. You know, we can all say that these pyramids were built as tombs, but even before I knew about electromagnetism, I didn't believe that. I didn't believe they would build such a structure just to house dead pharaohs. Again, what are the chances of free natural formations, as they call these structures, being in a perfect equilateral triangle? And as I said about that guide, he commented that we're going to shift the human consciousness, and as I said, it's words like that that fill me with positivity with all the things that are going on in our reality. But then you forget about all of the people that are aware of such things, and are projecting that energy, holding that space, which is very important right now. There is such a thing as an energy field, a magnetic energy field. It's our aura, and it's interconnected. It interconnects through the ether. This invisible space that we think is air is actually... No worries, bro. I'll let you do your thing. I was enjoying the conversation with people, so it's all good. So anyway, the tour's going to start again now. I've got my guide. We'll make our way up and show the Pyramid of the Sun. Yeah, I have to agree with you there, brother. It's not a natural formation. No, this is built, and not only built, it's done in an astronomical alignment.
As you can see from the points of view, what we had from georadar topographic terminal,
yes,
recordings. This was a place that was private back in 2017.
Oh wow.
We purchased half of these structures.
No way.
That's right.
So you had to purchase these structures to get access to them.
Actually 20,000 marks was invested in these structures.
Whoa.
Believe it or not, in case of this construction material,
yeah,
It's a continuance of the block that goes directly down below.
Wow.
They're coming right from
So this is some size, huh? The magnitude of this structure
the
is
shape is the height is more than 270 meters.
270 meters, and
And it's not the bottom.
this is
That's one of the parts. It
wow.
goes down below by some predicaments. It will be 350 meters down to the bottom.
Yeah, you just can't fathom a structure of that size, and it's buried. It is buried. I
Yeah,
mean,
this is the same thing that happened in the last or previous periods,
Yeah.
post ice age. This is how the soil and vegetation came along, and for the first time we discovered this area. We actually, when we bought it, it was 3.5 meters, 1.5 meter vegetation removed.
whoa.
This section is 270 meters of height. It means the materials are made from quartz,
Quartz. Ah,
which is the material from Richard Hoyle found it. This
Okay.
was our field geologist back in 2017. He discovered this quartz
quartz.
together with our workers
Yeah.
and the volunteers. Structure of the tree, which was planted here in the last 50-60 years. It was a former Yugoslavian plantation.
So these trees were planted on top of this structure.
In the former Yugoslavia, there were syndicate actions. There was engagement of the factories or syndicates from schools, Boy Scouts, whatever. And this is how they planted the Mediterranean pine and Pinus nigris. This is on Latin. This is a typical Mediterranean tree.
Ah.
That's
So that just really confirms my suspicions, or doesn't confirm it. It just adds to my belief that this has been covered up on purpose. This has been a deliberate cover up on purpose for whatever reasons. And the impressive thing, or the important thing to note about quartz, it has magnetic properties. I mean, it is well known that these minerals are healing. They're healing stones. They have energetic magnetic fields, and they can be utilized and harnessed in any way what you choose. So it's no surprise to find them in this structure.
streamings, especially from the underground water flows, and that quartz crystal
Yeah.
can return to the mechanical wave, or make sure that the elements of these underground water flows convert into a higher frequency level.
Wow.
Pieces,
So it energizes the water. It becomes like
yeah,
a,
that's right.
a,
That is the white
magnetic
crystal
magnetic
we're talking
presence within the water. I mean, that
That's
is
right. It's an interesting thing that because this quartz, white crystal quartz, could be also found close to Konjic and Trebinje in the southern part of the country.
Yeah.
Similar quartz crystal were founded in the ceramical blocks inside the tunnels.
That's right. That's where I just come from. Yeah,
right,
and there was
that's right.
the quartz was in the
transmission fields are
stones.
also
You know.
interesting fact that the elements of materials twice as times they're stronger as a concrete as any other constructive material from today.
Wow.
They go up.
And these things are not just coincidence. You know, whoever's built this has done this on purpose. With
Richard Hoyle said itself when he excavated this part in 2017. This crystal is not situ. In case in the Latin word, it's not in the natural condition. Somebody transported it by.
wow. So do you have any opinion of what you think this perhaps was, perhaps used for, or just?
Well, as you could see on the presentation on the guides, on
Yes.
the tunnels,
Yep.
there's a positive thing
The
just
ions.
about the frequencies, but this could be a potential energy machine.
Of
For
course. Yeah.
example, the Asians that built these structures came with a very particular knowledge.
Right.
Constructively, you can see clay materials, river sand and pebbles, 4.5 meter long, 1.5 meter wide, 45 centimeters thick, and 6.2 degrees.
Shit.
So this is the first level.
That's the first level.
This is a granulation. So you
Wow.
can see smaller, bigger, and middle pieces of these river pebbles.
Yeah.
Clay is between, and river sand. Up there's a glacierizing material, which is 4 multiplies 90 meters of dimension. This is 6.90, 6 angle sizes. First, second, third, and fourth level in the same angle. How could a Mother Nature build this kind of material in this kind of shape?
Of course.
Somebody was intellectually
Yeah.
manufacturing or manipulating
Yeah.
the effects of these materials.
Yeah. They done it with ease. However they done it, or the technique, whatever they
All
was
the
doing, it was
technique
easy.
very much superior from our point of view.
Yeah.
But when you consider that these civilizations did had a knowledge back in the time, this is why they discovered most of the structures covered with
Yeah.
these kinds of materials. The coverage afterwards was the reason that the soil and vegetation, when it was tested by an official institute for pedology in Sarajevo. They said 12 to 15,000 years. It's a minimum cause of these granulations.
The minimum. Wow.
Because if you
see?
consider, you can reverse back to the post Ice Age period. This is how all of the valley turned into these shapes of hills, or as they say, mountains, even though there's not a mountain over here in less than 30 kilometers.
No.
You don't see any tree to the top.
No?
And that's the planted version.
Yeah,
So you can see other part is going through the top side and the thicker part, and this one is 1.5 meter, 3.5 meters down below.
Wow.
The case of these structures points to be much more specific as any other constructed material element ever made. So there's a orientation to the cosmical north. For example, in Geodetic Institute, they said 0 degrees, 0 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah.
According to the hemisphere or the cardinal points of the Bosnian Sun Pyramid, and the Bosnian in the Cheopsis or Hofu Pyramid in Egypt is 0 degrees and 2 minutes. And this is 12 seconds, even a specific geometry with the perfect orientations to the north, south, east, and west.
So it's the perfect geometry almost.
That's
yeah,
it. That's the Geodetical Institute for Bosnia. Actually, the recording came in 2008
You see?
from one of the instruments that was used in that.
Yeah.
On this top side, it's a tiny spot where this middle-aged castle is lying. Even though it was considered that this is not a project, official archaeology would accept.
Yeah.
They forbid half of the pyramid by the change of law in the cultural heritage of Bosnia. So half of this 200-300 meters that will go directly to the top side is a protected zone. You cannot excavate that part.
You're not allowed to, no?
You're not allowed to in the last 15 years, even though we had a concession on the ground planned for these several years.
Yeah.
In our time, we had meetings
Yes.
with the major, with the other representatives of this higher administration in Bosnia. I think the consideration of the time would be that we'll go slowly to the upside of this northern plateau or northern slope, but it depends on the permissions that we give.
So they're deliberately slowing down the progress here.
Well, it's
or
the
putting
reason
blocks.
is because actually Anthony Harding said for the first place, even though the petition was his consideration from Sarajevo, that this is not a pyramid. They speak about it as a geological formation, but you have sides, you have shape.
No.
This is also a topographic map that was used back in 2007 that you can see the shape of the pyramid perfectly matchable to every corner of the planet.
Yes.
And there's a specific shape and the construction field, which was tested in 7 analyses, which is the most important information. Here, says that there is 134 megapascals of structure and 1% of hydroisolation. In the case of ordinary concrete, 60-70 megapascals of cement and 3 to 5% of hydroisolation effectively can break or blow inside when the ice is forming.
Yeah.
When there's a winter age, that will be easier to get colder temperature, and when it gets melting inside or when it gets spreading, it destroys the concrete. This one doesn't break. The level of this clay material is accumulative and much more higher melted in this condition, so it stands perfectly still.
So they knew that this was going to just be preserved.
They had a technique back in the time, and then they transported the amounts from here. When they use the additives as well, calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate, they also put it here.
Right.
And this was also the chemical analysis as the part of institutions. They consider this is a concrete.
Yeah.
From France Institute in Paris, Geopolymerical Institute by the coordination of Professor Josef Davidovic, Polytechnic di Turin in Italy, Czech Republic in Brno, in Bosnia, in Sarajevo, Tuzla, in Zenica, in 3 major cities. They said, even the Bosnian professors confirmed that this is a bigger shape, as the bigger volume as any other constructed material ever made in the history that we know.
Wow.
Especially when you can see 12-15,000 years back in our time.
Yeah.
Considering that was the period of the Ice Age that ended all of the global catastrophes, it infected the climate to actually cover all of the pyramid sites by these conditions. So in this case, everything that was built here, what was visible now, it's covered. And this was the part where the tectonical movements took place. This is how half of the structure came breakable down below, or got destroyed into pieces. But this was also a story from the official of the inhabitants over here. none of the officials, because they never excavated this archaeologically, they said in the period of time 30, 40 years ago, before the last war in Yugoslavia, they destroyed pieces of these concretes, thinking it could be free material for their houses, since it was a very cheap ground. You don't have harvesting, you don't have agriculture. For farmers, it's a very cheapest ground, very cheap ground. And in this case, the trees that were planted were the only action of the plantation of any sort in this kind of valley or in this kind of area. So you can imagine how somebody was using the material for free.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't have a purpose, they didn't think.
Yeah.
They didn't have an idea this could be an official structure. We can go in the periods of time when people were the official archaeology structures, even though it was less excavated. I'm telling about the castle on the top.
Yes.
They also were suspicious about the shape of this hill, and they called it a natural foresize pyramid. some of the archaeologists from former Yugoslavia, some ethnographs who came here to write about the documents about the people who lived here about 100 years ago, they actually said that Visoko as a town is lying in between the shape of a natural pyramid, as they call it.
A natural pyramid.
Natural pyramid. How can you say a natural pyramid if you have a structure field which has 4 triangle sizes? Even though the fort is very much destroyed because of these tectonical movements, or it was erased, this kind of structure, if you see it already, you can see even a bigger shape on that part. It doesn't have anything to do with the thought that it could be a formation of some post-glacial period. Especially if you have inside the structures of chambers, rooms, and passages. This is a geosatellite recording, a measurement from Dr. Havroshkin from Institute of Schmidl. They came here from Russia 2007, and they measured on the top the anomalies, as they say, from the top side to the bottom. And this is how the later physicians recorded the ultrasound beams, because they were walking through the top and they saw the shape going forwards. As the instrument went to the top side, it erased the frequencies from from the lower frequency levels to 28 kilohertz. This is the level of the levitation as we speak.
Wow.
And the Schumann frequency level is 7.83 hertz constant. Why do we always say things about the Schumann frequency? Because there are no cosmic radiations, and I'll just repeat what you heard in the tunnels, that can affect the poison gases or any kind of influence to the body cells. When people came here after visiting the tunnels, they usually meditate in this corner where there are 14,000 negative ions, or they can see the spread of the energy fields arising to the upper section. A materialist will never answer that question, because they still consider pyramids to be graves or tombs for the pharaohs. They never found it. Said this is one of the biggest or oldest concrete in the history of mankind. This is the spot we're standing right now. You can imagine.
No, is that where we are? We're just here.
This is right where we are right now. And
I can tell you that walk up there is steep, and it's not easy, and we haven't even got anywhere.
When you walk over here through to the top, it's more than 400 meters straight to the top. It's 1 hour. This is why we recommend people to make sure they are safe enough to climb. If they don't want to, it's a better way to just return where they came from already. 1.5 meters we removed by handwork. That's right. This was a volunteer action, to be exact. 20 centimeters thick. This is one side. Here you can see the coordinates between the first, the second, third, and fourth. The distance is here, and this part has been put it up to another 1, 2, and 3. If it was in this condition, it could break all the way to the valley. Wow. The pieces what were destroyed during these last tectonical movements are these river pebbles on the edges of these concretes.
So not the actual the structure itself, just these little.
Well, that's right. But when they consider this, they build it into a structural stability. So you just have to pay attention. It's nonetheless. This is a very effective clay work. One side and another one and another one. Why doesn't it break to the middle? It's only on the edges.
It's engineering of incredible intelligence. You know, this is master engineering. It really is.
And especially considering that they actually could know by the period of time that the huge storm could happen, or some kind of disaster that could break a point. So they weren't primitive in their own thinking. No. They took an advanced knowledge. So this is why we have opposites. They say pyramids don't exist because there's not a pharaoh or a grave or tomb. It's not a temple. People mix Aztecians with Mayans. They don't know who the Mayans really were.
Yes.
About the Egyptian history, they found it 12,000, I think, 12,000 years BC, on elements of the seashells or some part of materials inside the Cheops pyramid. I think before the British or French colonization. So you can see this part of shape is getting also half stepped, or in this case smooth. To the upper section on the right, this is a condition of these energy fields. About 14,000 negative ions expressively were measured by iron counter in these conditions, number 11, number 12, and this is where people can meditate 15 till 30 minutes. As long as you see this shape, it's going to be easy to say. This is another part which is even bigger there, which is mostly interesting. You can see half glacier material over here. You can come closer to see the reason they were building the first structure is they had a smoother period. What happens next? This is the erosion part. Below there, river pebble, sand and clay. And this one is smooth. How could Mother Nature build this one? So especially by the shapes on the right and on the left, you can coordinate yourself in this case in number 12. These positions we found it. It's a very particular reason that people could see that the shapes were built in by intelligent source. And this part on the right side has the last of the roots. If you go up to the top side, it's slippery and steep, so pay attention. That last section up there is the last step till you get to the end of it. This is where we mostly finish the presentation. Especially because
amazing information there, brother. Really fantastic knowledge.
It's an hour of walking. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for...
If you had to ask something, go ahead.
Well, I think you covered so much information for me there. Really, it was fantastic.
Well, this is a 90% information you can see in the tunnels and in the Sun Pyramid. Unfortunately, to the moon and to the temple, or to the tumulus in Vratnica, we don't have an unfortunate condition. So you should actually drive there or get there by yourself. We don't have permissions to excavate that part, unfortunately. So this is why the reason is we cannot go there, or you can go there individually. There's no guide. That's just why you read Dr. Sam's books, you see or research what he did. You mostly see the fact during his presentations and what he has presented about the pyramids across the globe. He actually went all across the world to see these structures. He didn't came from the middle of nowhere. But the fortunate thing is this was one of the most uncovered and unknown structures here in the central part of Bosnia. Still, when he considered this to be a pyramid, he measured the compass orientation when he came to the town 17 years ago, and he was surprised that this kind of shape stood here, even though nobody had ever paid attention to.
Really, I know.
It's a huge step if somebody discovers a pyramid in Balkans.
Of course.
Saying that it's even older by the statistics than anything made in Egypt.
Good man, brother. I'm gonna go up there and have a meditation. If I get any questions before I come down, I'll make sure I ask you.
I'll be there until 7 o'clock. Just on the right path.
Top man. Thank you.
And just make note that you don't go to the top.
No, I just want to go to this spot here that you've just recommended.
Enough space there.
Thank you very much, boss. You have a good day. Incredible information there, and I really liked his explanation of why they wouldn't say this was a pyramid, because we are told that the pyramids are built for pharaohs, and obviously there are no pharaohs in Bosnia, so it just doesn't fit in with the official narrative. And that is what I suspect and have said for a very, very long time, that they do not wish to change the official narrative. Imagine if there was the curiosity to really excavate this place, to really uncover all of this, because look how thick this is. This is a forest. This is a forest that is covering this pyramid here. And as he spoke about with the trees earlier, they were planted. They were planted by military. And I'm of the opinion that many military operations that go on around the world are just to cover up, repurpose, hide, destroy, everything to hide the truth about this place. Well, I think we'll take a little wander up. You can't be a wanderer unless you're wandering, so I've got to go and see a little bit of it. Starting to get steeper now, actually quite quite difficult to get up here. I haven't got the best footwear on either. You really need good hiking footwear to get up here. But look how thick this vegetation is. I mean, this is completely covered in mud, trees. Physicists and electrical engineers from Croatia, Serbia, Finland, Italy and Germany have detected and measured electromagnetic and ultrasound beams with a frequency of 28 kilohertz, continuous and focused, with a radius of 4.5 meters at the very top of the Bosnian pyramid of the sun. It is a frequency suitable for levitation and communication. The ultra-low frequency of 7.83 Schumann resonance is measured throughout the pyramid and is best frequency for physical, mental and spiritual development for human being. I mean, this is what I've suspected for a long time, that the old world was using energy, frequency and vibration to heal for optimum health. That's what the cathedrals all were, the organs that are inside those structures. That's why they're called organs, because the frequency wave that was projected through such a structure would heal our organs. This is the biggest pyramid in the world with a height of over 220 meters. It's much higher than the Great Pyramid of Egypt, 147 meters. It has 3 preserved sides, north, eastern, western, and 1 damaged southern. And let me just draw your attention to this bottom one, because this is really interesting about some of the subjects that I've been speaking about. There are natural energy sources below the pyramid: iron plates, electromagnetism, underground water flows, negative ions and electric field, quartz crystal with cavities amplifies energy, chambers, resonance, and pyramid amplifies all natural energy sources. That is what I've said for a long time, that I believe all pyramids around the world, not just the one that's in Egypt. There are pyramids on every continent, from China to Mexico, throughout the Americas, here in Bosnia, and we also have some in England, Silbury Hill towards Stonehenge. These structures, the actual shape itself is perfect for oscillation of energy, for harnessing free energy and utilizing it to its absolute maximum potential. That is why they use these structures. And then you add into it all the quartz, the electromagnetism. It's really just painting the picture of the old world was harnessing free energy, electromagnetic energy. You can see the town at the foothills below there, and we haven't even come, I would say, 10% of the way up this pyramid. That just gives you an idea of how huge this structure is. Well guys, I think this is a good place to wrap this video up, with the backdrop of Visoko, the town of Visoko, right on cue there, just got it in time. And I thoroughly enjoyed exploring this place. It's a real shame that we can't get to see more through excavation and these kind of things, but this is what they're up against. This is what they're up against. It is all connected. And examples of places like this are just further evidence of such a thing. Free energy, electromagnetism. Anyway, I've really enjoyed today's video. Hope you have too. Let me know in the comments what you think. I really would be interested to read some of them. Hopefully it's stirred some curiosity and encourages you to look into these subjects further, because it does reveal a lot and it's very empowering. It is really, really empowering. That's what is the best thing about all of it. It really is. Anyway, have a blessed and wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you all on the next video. Take care. One love to the people. Okay guys, just to add a little bit of information there about the ticket. The ticket is €5. For the first time that you come here, you need to go with a guide first so that they can show you the route, show you exactly what it is up there. And then when you come back a second time, much like we just had at the tunnels, you can buy a ticket for half the price and you're able to go up there on your own. They call it a meditation ticket. So you can literally just go up there and do your meditation, do your own thing in your own time. But the first time you're here, you need to go with a guide. And anyway, I highly recommend it. Really knowledgeable fella. The information was fantastic, and you know, for the price, it's probably the cheapest guide that I've had of any of the places I've been, so I can't fault it.
Well, I'm flattered that you say so, but in this case, it's our duty to speak about it. You don't mind if I speak in this American accent? So
no, hey.
If I start talking like this, it won't be the same.
You talk however you're natural.
It's a little bit cockney, but it's not. It's something.
Hey, Del boy, huh? Del boy, huh?
Well, Only Fools and Horses, hello, you wouldn't have an idea what kind of a British humor had an impact in Yugoslavia.
There you go. I like it, bro.
People learned English. Is this without records or okay?
Yeah.
You can cut this out. If
Okay, I'll edit it off maybe. We'll just leave it rolling. I can
Okay.
edit it all up for you.
As an additional information.
Yeah, additional
In former
information.
Yugoslavia, as well as in Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia, people in the 80s
Yes.
until today watched the most popular BBC sitcoms. As for Only Fools and Horses, as hello. This is how they got influenced by this British humor. Humor.
And it's
Well,
it's a very unique humor as well.
Is Emily Blunt for it. This is not my idea.
No.
The humor, British sense of humor. So
Yeah.
the British sense of humor is most familiar to the people who watch this thing.
Yeah.
For my instance, when we learned English, we used to watch cartoons. We used to watch movies. For laterly, when we were younger,
Yeah.
couldn't go any more serious. But
Yeah.
the impact of that television is the reason we had to make it to that point
Right.
that you need courses and you need lectures because we
course.
learned it in schools as a foreign language.
Yeah.
It's an advanced kind of level. It's very helpful to everybody.
Yeah. So you're picking up the American swang.
There was a Scotsman a couple of days ago, Phil. He's from Dundee.
Yeah, Dundee.
Watching this right now.
Strong
make him
accent.
a
Dundee
note.
accent is
And
as
the
well.
people
Strong.
From Belfast, there was a lady and an Irishman, and the people from Australia,
Yeah.
from Canada. When you think of all of the accents on English language of the Commonwealth, it's
Yeah.
an interesting fact.
Definitely.
And met some people from Liverpool, and this is how I found out about these things as Scousers or whatever. I used to
Scousers.
use this kind of accent when I was talking to them, and they said, "You're from London,"
Oh.
and I said, "No."
Actually, it
Goodbye,
is.
Lord. What's the word for Irish? Couple of morning to a stranger.
Top of the morning.
Top of the
morning to you.
Top of the morning. The Australian is like,
G'day.
good day, goodbye, goodbye. The dingo, I saw the dingo. The dingo ate your baby.
Oh my man, it's really good, brother.
Enjoy your times too and have a nice time.
Superb. Same to you, Amar.
Same to
Thank you very much, sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. What a nice fella. What an absolute gem of information there as well. Hope you've enjoyed all of the tour today, from the tunnels and to this pyramid. And there's even more. There is even more to do. But it's getting late in the day now. I've got to say my legs are pretty knackered. Is this the way? Is this the way? Yeah, this is the way. We're going down this way. And as I say, thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, take care of one another, guys, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace and love. One love to the people.